Welcome to CP101, and here is another update on Freddy. We're going to be working on the sweater now, kind of moving up. We got the base done, as you saw last video. We got the shoes done, we've got the pants done. Our next step now is the sweater. And on the sweater, I wanted the red and the green, even though I'm using dark red and dark green, to be darker than they would be over like a gray or a lighter primer. So after we painted this with the Duplicolor primer sealer, the gray, I went over it with some satin black, and I used satin black because that's all I had in a rattle can. I didn't have any flat black. I don't have any black primer neither. This is actually Krylon satin black. I bought a can of it a long time ago when I was doing body work on my Chevy pickup, because it was black, and I didn't care if it was paint finish on my Chevy truck wasn't the best. And like most Chevy trucks, I had to replace the cab corners, and so I just used satin black to cover up the metal. I wasn't too worried about the glossy finish. And anyway, I still had some of that, so I decided to save time to just go ahead and shoot this with the Krylon satin black. So I'm just waiting for this to dry now. Good thing about Krylon is that it's lacquer based, which is why you never want to mix Krylon with Rust-Oleum, which is enamel based. So it's pretty much dry now already, and I painted this about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. So our next step now, I think, is what I'm going to do is paint the whole thing red first, and this is Americana dark scarlet, and then we'll seal it, and then we'll go over it with this campground green. That's what we're going to do next. So I need to mix up a little bit of this scarlet red, get ready for the airbrush, and we'll shoot it. I missed a little right here on the sleeve of the black, but I'm just going to leave it. It'll be alright. I'm not going to worry about that. This is just the base color anyway, so if it's not perfect, that's okay. I just want that red to be a little darker than usual, so that's why we're using a black base coat. So what I need to do now is get my H ready and mix me up some scarlet red. We'll just be using just plain old water this time, nothing fancy for the thinning agent, and usually with the water I use about the same ratio with the water as I do with the washer fluid, which is roughly a 50-50 to start, and then I see how it is. If I need to add more paint or more water, then I adjust it then, but I always start with a 50-50. So we're going to take our little cup here, our little mixing cup I use. I'm going to pour some in here. Yeah, that should be, well, this is a large piece. I'll go a little bit more. There we go. So there's our scarlet red. And then I'm going to add roughly about the same amount of water in here. And then we are going to mix it up. I'm just going to use a plain old toothpick. In fact, the same toothpick I used to mix the gray up in the pants. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Try to keep it from splashing everywhere. I always eventually splash. I'm messy for some reason. I try to be careful, but I always end up somehow getting paint somewhere where it shouldn't be. It never fails. Always do. So I'm not the cleanest, neatest painter. Our next step now is to pour it in our spraying cup. I don't use the bottles much. I like using the cups better. Even though I have the glass bottles, I just think it's quicker to put it in the cup and spray it out of the cup. I just have to be careful because I've spilt paint out of the cup. These cups don't have a cap on them or cover, so you have to kind of be careful, which is why I never fill it up more than halfway. Because when I do, I eventually spill it everywhere, make an even bigger mess than what I already do. So, okay, excuse my back of my head here for a second. I think my airbrush is clean enough to spray this. I forgot to clean it after the gray, but I give it a good cleaning. I cleaned it, but a good cleaning. Okay. Spray it on here real quick. On the last segment we got the thing painted. What you didn't see was I wasn't happy with the color even after adding that little bit of white to it. Still felt the sweater was a little on the dark side, so I took a little brighter red, this red right here. It's a Tester's stop sign red. I mixed a little bit of that red with the scarlet red, and then I went over it lightly. I kind of misted it with that mix of the two reds, and when it was all said and done and dry, I was much happier with that shade. So when it was all dry, I hit it with a dull coat lacquer, and then I put the green stripes on using the where's that? Right here, campground green. And my buddy wanted on his kit the stripes on the sleeves, and now this kit depicted the first movie, so it didn't have the striping on the sleeve, so I just freehanded that on there as best as I could to get it looking similar to his sweater. I think his sweater had one more stripe on the sleeves, but I was trying to keep, the widths of everything the same as the front here, so I didn't want it to look off. So I think that's pretty good. There's the front and there's the back. Now the next step I need to do is glue it on his pants, and then go over the sweater with some chalks, some pastel chalks, just like I did the pants. And then we can go on to the hands and his head, and then this will be finished. So I'm going to go get the bottom part of him, and we're going to put that sweater on, see how it looks, and I'm going to be right back.